Hello, my beautiful angel star season dreamers. Welcome back. My name is Violeta. This is a timeless channeled message for you. Yes, you. If it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. All signs welcome. You'll have to excuse my voice and my appearance. I'm a little bit sick again. Listen, I know how you feel. You feel tired. You feel like you're failing. You feel like everything's too much at once. You're dealing with fears that keep coming up and old doubts and fears and survival mode that just keeps crawling back up, trying to drag you back down. And it's like, is this really my life right now? Is this really how far I've come to go back down again? It's very confusing for you right now. It's very like, I did all the right things, then what do I have to show for it? You know? I think I know, I think you know what this is, but your logical brain is like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I can't fight myself anymore. I can't pretend everything's okay. Not that you're bypassing, you're feeling all of your feelings, but even that's not enough anymore. You feel like everything's falling apart, but it's not. It's just falling into place. And this is the hard part. This is the hard part that you knew you would be going through before the big breakthrough, before the big timeline shift, because before the bigness of your new life, there would be fighting against the old. And there's this feeling, this deep rooted feeling of, I'm not doing enough, I have to do more. No, you don't. It's almost like you're resisting every part of this process instead of just relaxing into it. You feel like you're not doing enough, then you feel like you're doing too much, then you feel like you're all over the place, then you stop and you feel numb. It's like everywhere you go, everything you try, it leads to the same wall. And you realize that's not your fault. My friend, that is not your fault. You're just going through what you have to go through. Think of it as getting born. You know, you go through this dark canal that's confusing and painful and horrible, and you're like, am I gonna take it? Am I gonna be able to take it? Am I gonna be able to see the light again, to see what's on the other side? Am I gonna be joyful again? And yes, of course, a part of you knows what this is. The other part is panicking, though. You've always been in two minds, one rational, one spiritual. It's hard to make one of them stop. So you hear both of them at all times. And sometimes it's a good time, so you're like, yay, I'm enjoying this. And sometimes it's a bad time and you're like, oh, I hate this. This is one of those heavy times, I'm sorry to say. You're really not supposed to be fighting so not roughly, but so hard. You're not supposed to be fighting so hard, because this is not the time for fighting. This is the time for accepting and for relaxing into it, into the flow. And I know sometimes when the flow sucks, you're like, I don't want to relax into the suckiness. But the problem is that you have no choice. The other choice is to fight and to make it last longer. And you know this too. I feel like there's nothing I can tell you that you don't already know. It's like this, what you are is you're fighting your old self. You know, sometimes you experience these periods of high. You've never been so high and everything's right and everything's amazing. sometimes you're experiencing these times of boredom, of nothing's happening, of spare me, you know, like. And then there's the times of profound heaviness, profound shadows, dark nights of the soul, dark days, weeks of the soul. You never lose hope because you know what it is, but you also get tired because it's endless. You don't see the end of it. You feel so heavy right now. That's not because you're hopeless. You know what this is. You know this is the slingshot where the further back, the further down you go, the further up and away and forward you're going to be able to go. You know this. The problem is that while you're really pulled back, it doesn't feel good. It really doesn't feel good. It feels the worst, like the worst thing in the world, because you're pushed beyond your limits. And you're like, can I just stop? Can I just stop right now? Can I stop? And then your own answer comes back. No, I'm not going to stop. Of course not. Just because of what? One obstacle, two obstacles, five obstacles? Is that really what I need to be doing when times get hard? And what if one day times are harder? Am I going to stop then now? You know, you're developing your muscles of tenacity, and you have a lot already. And it's amazing to you that you still have to develop them, because it seems like you need more of it in where you're stepping. You're stepping into a world where you're going to need even more of it, and you can't even imagine it because you have so much already. And the thing is, I've been seeing this corridor of rooms, of doors, like in Being Erica. Every door leads to a moment in your life, or to a potential timeline in your life. It doesn't matter. Or to a choice that you make or don't make. And so all of these doors, you can walk through every one of them, but you're so deliberate about choosing that you almost don't want to choose because you're afraid it's going to be the wrong choice, even though you know there's no such thing as a wrong choice. It's like you're fighting your knowing. It's like, this is what's happening, right? You know, you have this deep knowing of things, of how things work, of how you work, of how life works. And you don't doubt that, even for a second. But your human body, your human mind, your human experience, spirit, whatever, is fighting it because it's not it. You're not a spirit. You're a human being with human learnings, habits, things that you have to unlearn, to change, to grow, to switch around. And it's such a convoluted process that you're like, sometimes it's too much for you. It's too much for your human vessel, because your spirit is endless and it's tenacious and it has all the knowing and all the strength, and it's not worried. But your human body, you get sick, you get hurt, you get worried. You fight your own knowing. You're in two minds at the moment. You know what you're going to choose. You know what you're choosing actively. And so because you choose this, you just kind of try to move through this however you can. You know, a kind of a numb feeling of, okay, I can do one more step, one more step, one more step. You know, that kind of, not desperate, but that kind of determined feeling of, you know what, if I can get through this, it's going to be over. But if I stop here and lie down and give up, it's not going to be over. It's going to continue endlessly. So I can just keep going and wait for it to pass, right? Because you are doing all the right things. And I know you might think you're not doing the right things. You're failing in some way. But this reality right now is not a reflection of you failing, my friend, of your abilities, of your worth. That's not it. Do you know how many times you've asked yourself, what is wrong with me? Why can't I make this work? And why am I not good enough? And every single time the answer was the same. This is not a reflection of your capabilities, is how life works, my love. Do you get it? This here is not a reflection of how much you can or of how worthy you are, but of how far you've come. And I know it doesn't seem like it. It seems like you've gone to the end of the world and there's no more to go to. But that's where you fly. But you have to get there. You have to get through all the muck, all the darkness, all the shadows, all the fears. You have to fight your battles. And then you have to relax into not fighting anymore. And no, it's not giving up. It's just relaxing into trust, into faith that something incredible is coming, and you know it is. It's just that time through the darkness to get to the light. You were always afraid of that time. You always felt like you were failing, but you're not. This is, in a way, this is not a reflection of your this is not your failure right now. This is your success. You just can't see it through those human eyes as such, because those human eyes see failure. They see everything going bad. But your inner knowing knows different. Your inner knowing knows what's next. But all you see is now. And it's hard. I know it's hard. It's a heavy message today, but it needs to be said. In a way, this spiritual healing growth journey is a roller coaster of lessons and challenges and tests and up and down and left and right. And most of the time it's amazing, but there are other times when it's the opposite of amazing. And in those times, you just have to remind yourself, this is not the whole story. This is not the whole picture. And I think that's what you've been doing all those years. When it was dark, you were just reminding yourself, wait, this is not the whole thing. Just wait a few days, wait a few weeks. It's not about, it's almost like you're trying to get out of it, claw your way out of this energy. But Spirit is teaching you, no, that's not something you actively change. That this is something we do. This is something life does. And you keep trying to control every part of the journey, but you forget it's co-creation. It's you and it's life. And you've done all your work. You've done all of your inner work, all of your outer work. At the moment, you did a lot recently. I know it for a fact. And it's almost like when you reach a point where everything is the bleakest it's ever been, and there's no more for you to do, you try to make up things that you can do to fix it. There's nothing to fix. It's the way it's supposed to be, my love. I feel like you need a hug right now. And a reminder that this is temporary. That this is part of the process, the part that you don't like. I know. I know you don't like this part. You hate this part. It's very painful and very scary and very tiring. You're exhausted right now. But the good news is that it's almost over. Spirit says, it's almost over. You just have to go through it without fighting, without trying. Just flow through it. Feel bad, scream, cry, break stuff if you want. Whatever helps. Talk it through with a friend. Write down your memoir. Leave yourself angry voice notes. Just whatever you want. Just get it out. Get it out. Dig really deep and then let it out. This is the way to purge. And I know you want to get to the good part. I know you want to go back to that high frequency that you were in previously. I know. But you can't have the light without the dark. You can't have high without the low. That's the problem. The low parts are really, you want to skip through them. You want to jump over them. You want to skip them altogether. You want to avoid them, look somewhere else, do something else. But they're not going to disappear. They're not going to change until you change them, until you face them. Right now, you're doing everything you can to go back to your normal self, happy self, whatever. But that's trying to control things, and you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to stay in the energy that you're in right now and experience it. That's going to sling you back even further so you can go up. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to remember this in moments like this, and I'm trying to be that voice for you and for myself in that time that reminds you, you know better. You know better than everything is falling apart. It's over. I'm failing. I've failed. You know better than this. You know what comes next is even more magnificent than you could ever imagine, but you can't skip, you can't fast forward to there. You have to go through this first. And so I wish you luck, health, and acceptance in this period of uncertainty. I love you so much. You're doing so great. Remember who you are. Remember where you're going. Don't force it. Don't bypass things. Just keep it at the back of your mind. This is not the whole picture, my friend. This is just one piece of it. And you're going through it so that you can get more amazing pieces. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if it resonates in the comments what you're going through, if you want to or not. If you don't want to, then don't. But I would like to hear from you because we're in this together. Like, subscribe, all those fun things. And I'll see you next time. Bye.